you. Superintendent Ireland, thank you and your staff for providing this wonderful memorial for this event. And while they've been recognized previously, I'd like to say, I'd like to acknowledge the Italian Undersecretary of Defense, the Honorable Perego di Cremnago, Chargé d'Affaires of U.S. to Italy in San Marino, Italy, and Chargé d'Affaires Ms. Laura Hutchler and Mr. Rodney Hunt. Welcome, ladies and gentlemen. Today we gather in this place of honor because 81 years ago, the Battle of Anzio, also known as Operation Shingle, commenced in the area of Anzio and Nettuno. One of the bloodiest and most drawn-out battles of World War II, it proved to be the vital step in liberating Italy from tyranny. Even by World War II standards, the fighting here was brutal. The battle, which started with an Allied sea landing, required supreme effort against an enemy that was at times numerically superior. While we will never know all the acts of bravery that occurred here 8 decades ago, individual acts of courage are embodied by heroes like Sergeant Sylvester Angelak, whose Medal of Honor citation describes his assault over 200 yards of flat, coverless terrain to destroy an enemy machine gun nest. Despite being knocked down 3 times, he brushed directly into enemy fire with his submachine gun wedged under his uninjured arm until at close range he killed 2 and forced 10 people to surrender. Then, reorganizing his men and refusing to seek medical attention, Sergeant Antelak chose to lead the way toward another strong point 100 yards away. Utterly disregarding the hail of bullets concentrated upon him, he stormed ahead until he was killed by hostile fire. Inspired by his example, his squad went on to overwhelm enemy troops. During this 81st anniversary, we pay tribute to the ultimate sacrifice that Sergeant Antelak and the other 7,844 American heroes, eternally resting on the sacred ground, made to restore peace to Italy. In addition, we honor the 3,095 names of the missing engraved on the walls of the chapel. In all ways, this was an Allied operation. Hence, I would be remiss if I did not acknowledge the ultimate sacrifice of the more than 3,300 Commonwealth soldiers and sailors who rest nearby at Beachhead War Cemetery and Anzio War Cemetery in Anzio. Then, as now, our European allies and partners share the struggle against aggression. As new threats to freedom and the territorial integrity of nations arise, we must strive to be the worthy successors to the men and women of the greatest generation. 81 years later, the valor and fortitude by all allies during World War II continue to resonate with U.S. and Italian forces, and we are forever indebted to them. To preserve the legacy and memory of the fallen in the Anzio and Nettuno landings, we must remain steadfast in our unwavering commitment to peace and security in Europe and abroad, especially in the face of unwarranted aggression now entering a 3rd year. In addition, we must never forget their selfless sacrifice. Never forget the democratic values they fought and died for, and never forget the freedom they preserved for us. Ultimately, we honor those in whose footsteps we follow by remaining postured and ready to face an increasingly dynamic security environment. Together with indispensable allies like Italy, let us continue to demonstrate the strength of alliance and dedicated resolve born out of World War II and forged over 8 decades of combat credible deterrence and defense. Superintendent, thank you again for having me. To the mayors of Anzio and Nettuno, thank you for sharing your city with us.